Hi, I have an idea that I just can't get out of my head. In my apartment there is a window between the bedroom and the living room, and I really like it, but I saw a picture online made with stained glass paints and I fell in love. I want something like that on this glass too. But first of all, it's a bit expensive for my small channel right now, so please subscribe. And plus, I think it's wise to start by trying out stained glass painting on a much smaller piece of glass before diving into such a big project. So I have this piece of glass that's been lying around in my basement for a year. I knew I shouldn't throw it away. And I'm more into crafting than drawing, so I found this design on Pinterest and it's absolutely amazing. I think it's perfect for such project. I'll leave the link in the description. And now I just need to buy the paint, so yes. I'm back. Oh, I bought transparent vitriol paints from Pebeo. I will list all the colors I use in the description. Additionally, I have white ceramic paint at home, not for glass, from the same company, but the thing is, I'm not sure if they can be mixed together, but we'll try. Anyway, we don't need them for now, so let's keep everything aside. First, we need to make the outline of our painting. For this, we will need the outliner, obviously. I hope one tube will be enough. To do this, we take our picture that I went and printed out on the printer. Then I simply traced all the lines I needed, but you can draw anything yourself. The main thing is that the drawing should consist of clear closed lines, and then we attach it to our glass. I will use double-sided tape, but it doesn't really matter, you can secure it with anything as long as nothing moves. It's heavy. So now we need to degrease the glass to make it as clean as possible. For this you can use alcohol, nail polish remover, or in my case, glass cleaner. Now the scariest part, I need to make an even outline. I'm not sure if I can do it. So I jumped right in without any test lines, and let's just say there was no way around erasing and starting over for a few times. So I kept adding, wiping off, adding, wiping off, over and over again. And it's definitely not a quick process. If you, like me, thought you could finish it in just one episode of your favorite show, well, you might want to download a couple more. I made the fish's head, and I can say that it's incredibly difficult. You might not believe me because I'm in shock myself, but it's just impossible to make it even. Plus, it's very inconvenient because you have to watch at what you're doing directly from above, since you can't see anything from the side. Overall, I don't really like the process so far, but I'll keep going just to start painting as soon as possible. You know what? After a while my hand kinda got used to it, so it makes things a bit easier. Will the lines be perfectly straight? No, at least I don't think so. But a little straighter? Yeah? Still, you can't really do this on autopilot, you have to stay focused. Otherwise you will touch something, smudge it, or end up with a wonky line. Unless, of course, you actually like wonky lines. In this case, it's super easy. And I'm sorry my hat takes up half the screen sometimes, it's just part of the process. Also, I keep wondering how cool it would look if the outline color were white. And for info, one tube is almost enough, but not quite. The outline is ready. Give me a moment so I can show you. And now, wait for it. Wait for it. Do you see this fabulous result? So, final thoughts, I really like it. Even though the lines are crooked, it's not very noticeable when you look at the whole picture. Plus, toward the end, I got the hang of it, so I have a few tips and tricks for you. Don't forget to move the glass or move yourself to position your hand comfortably. Your elbow and wrist should always be on the table, not suspended, to reduce shaking. The thinner the glass, the less the image will distort. I've often seen in videos that you must hold the tip of the tube suspended, but that's not true. You can let it touch the surface. The main thing is to tilt the tip in the direction the line is going, never hold the tip vertically. If you need to erase something where there is nothing nearby, you can do it while the outline is still wet, but if you need to erase something surrounded by finished lines, it's better to wait until it dries. Long lines turned out straighter for me if I held the tip above the glass surface and moved quickly. When moving slowly, the line width becomes very uneven. And lastly, I could have managed with just one tube, but squeezing out the paint evenly toward the end is nearly impossible, so I traced a small chart here. On one side, I finished off the old tube, and on the other side, I used a new one. I didn't try to make the line straight on either side, so you can see the difference. Why do I even need this chart? I want to make myself a color cheat sheet because if you look at the colors in the jars, they all seem black. In one column, there will be the colors as they are, then colors mixed with white paint, and in the last column, colors mixed with Lightening medium, which is strangely orange, and that of course confuses me. In general, white is not good unless mixed with a lot of medium, but all the other colors are very beautiful, so I'll start. For my palette, I ended up using foil or just mixing the paints directly on the glass. To apply it, I used chopsticks and brushes. I picked the cheapest ones in case it was their last use. Surprisingly, they survived, maybe except for one. At first, I was a bit nervous because I was afraid of messing something up, but then I was practically pouring the paint straight from the jar, so go ahead and try it. As you can see, I opened the window and put a mask because honestly this smell doesn't seem healthy and I started feeling weird. I'm wearing a mask with filters that I once bought for working with epoxy resin. By the way, do you know what really annoys me? I've seen so many people wearing regular cloth masks when working with epoxy. I even went to a workshop once and they gave me one of those masks. And I was so upset that I didn't bring my own. Because, let's be real, cloth masks, they give this totally false sense of safety. They don't protect you at all. As long as you can still smell the epoxy, it's slowly poisoning your body. And another thing that drives me crazy, epoxy stuff for cups that doesn't have a heat-resistant layer. And the sellers never mention that you can't put hot tea in them. And recently, you know what my dad did? He bought a craft set for kids with epoxy for his 7-year-old daughter. Of course it came with these cloth masks, and nowhere does it say that you actually need a proper respirator mask with a special filter, or that you shouldn't do this indoors. Sorry, this kind of carelessness really makes me angry, so please be careful. Honestly, I'm not even sure if it's a good idea to use this paint at home, so double check before you try it. Alright, rant over, back to the glass paints. Once you've got the outline done, just fill in everything with color, picking shades, mixing them, that's pure joy. I put a show on in the background and just enjoyed the process. And with every section I painted, I liked the result more and more. No matter what I mixed, the colors still turned out beautiful. I think it's because of the paint itself. The texture, the transparency, the glossy surface. I definitely want to make more things with it. Actually, I already know what. A lamp. I once made a candle holder out of real glass, and it is gorgeous. But I'm not really a candle person. A lamp though. Like a square one for my desk with a light bulb inside, that would be amazing. What do you think? I just need to figure out how this paint reacts to heat. And one more thing about mixing colors. I'm not really great at it, but just look at how many different shades I ended up with, and all I actually had was 7 base colors. So if you ever feel tempted to buy a ton of paints for your project, I would say pick shades you can easily mix instead. Honestly, if I were buying again, I would get even fewer colors, but definitely more of that clear one. As you can see from the lighting, I kept working on this project late into the night, but I still couldn't finish it. Staying up that late wasn't the best idea. It was hard to tell what the final color would look like when light passes through it, so I ended up making the water way too dark. On top of that, I couldn't really see if the paint was mixed well anymore, so the whole bottom part of the water turned into swirls of unmixed paint. Unfortunately, this takes away the feeling that it could be real glass, so honestly, I should have just gone to sleep. The next day, last night I almost finished the painting, but I won't lift it to show you yet because I already tried and slightly messed it up since the paint hasn't dried yet, so what's written on the jar about a drying time of 2 hours is a lie. Well, I'm going to finish it. Today, besides a mask, I also want to wear gloves because this paint is very similar to epoxy resin, and if you worked with it, you know how unpleasant it is to accidentally get it on your skin. My hands are still sticky. Also, I'm very glad that I laid down a tablecloth on the table because you can see a lot of stamps here. The only thing that I don't really like is that I darkened the water at the bottom too much, but I hope it won't be too dark when the light shines through. So I've just got a tiny bit left to go, and the funniest part is I actually haven't seen the result either. With this kind of piece, you need to look at it against the light, and I just can't lift it up until it's dry. My hands are itching to pick it up carefully, but I'm holding back. Once it's ready though, we will take a look together. Everything is ready, can't wait to see the result tomorrow.